We were all so much younger then, but 20 years still seems like yesterday. I remember every moment. My own story is this. I was in New York City for a quarterly meeting of my institute's board of directors. At 8:46 a.m., I emerged from the elevator on the 36th floor of Rockefeller Center where the meeting was being held. I turned toward the south-facing window of the office suite, and off in the distance, I saw a puff of smoke on the side of one of the two towers of the World Trade Center in Lower Manhattan. I didn't think too much of it. A few minutes later, the meeting started, and shortly after that, the emergency alarm, ordering everyone in Rock Center to evacuate the giant complex. A second airplane had hit the other tower, and it was clear that America was under attack. Everything was mayhem. Our group moved down Fifth Avenue to a cafe in the University Club to watch the terrible drama unfold on a television screen. We frantically tried to call loved ones, especially those in harm's way, in Lower Manhattan and in Washington, a task complicated by the officious doorman at the University Club, who even in that frenzied moment insisted on enforcing rules against cell phone use inside the building. I finally got hold of my wife, who was herself evacuated from an office just one block away from the White House, target of the fourth plane, which we later learned was diverted through the selfless courage of its passengers. Later that day, I walked much of the length of an empty Fifth Avenue, devoid of cars, buses, and taxis, like in some dystopian science fiction film, except this was real life, the start of a new era. For more than a decade since the fall of the Berlin Wall and the end of the Cold War, we Americans had lived in a bubble, some even falling prey to a fallacy that we had witnessed the end of history. But history had a different idea, and so began the era of 9/11. The road from 9/11 took some twists and turns, to Afghanistan and then to Iraq, to faraway places like Guantanamo, to places closer to home like San Bernardino and Orlando. It produced leaders of wildly different ideas, personalities, and temperament, like Barack Obama and Donald Trump. But the basic question persists. Did we win the war on terror? We have prevented or deterred another mass casualty attack on American soil. So by that yardstick, the effort was successful. We left Afghanistan 20 years after 9/11, leaving in charge the same people who ruled the country and gave safe haven to the killers of that terrible day. So that's not easy to count as victory. Perhaps the question is itself misplaced. Like improving health, education, and the environment, I think we have learned that fighting terrorism is not a war that comes to an end. It is just something that we need to do and do well every day. That may be the most important lesson of all.